go into the bank, and banks should be part of the fight as well. Yeah. All right, let's move straight to our next conversation. The 379,000 candidates who sat for the rescheduled Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, are on edge as they expect the release of their results on Wednesday, the 21st of May. This information is according to the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB. The Registrar of JAMB, Professor Ishakulede, had revealed the 379,997 candidates were affected, with 206,610 across 65 centres in Lagos and 173,387 in 92 centres in the southeast. All right, Emeka, JAMB is set to release the results tomorrow, which is a Wednesday. But talk to me, is it going to be more of the same, or are you convinced that JAMB, will have corrected its errors?
Well, in the first place, those errors shouldn't have occurred. We're talking of young people. We just finished one topic now.
True.
You are saying young people don't get into crime. Do your best to make sure they don't have an excuse to look the other way. That is inexcusable. Because when you are putting your hands into technology-based solutions, prepare for the unexpected. So you got to make sure that whatever, they brought in the CBT, it has worked some years, but you see, they should have had it at the back of their minds that this thing can fail.
I mean, they have a whole year to prepare for that.
That this thing can fail. They've been doing the same CBT, according to them, they've done it for some government agencies here and there, but you wouldn't have, I don't know, I don't think they have the same number of candidates like JAMB, like those sitting, at the UTME, so just giving the job to contractors, and not exercising adequate oversight, that led to, you said sabotage, you said errors, you said, human factor, and all of those things, Now, the receipt, what we heard from those who went for the receipts, some of them was that the questions, were tough. They still encountered the same problems.
The same problem.
And that's why the Southeast Caucus of the House of Representatives has said that they should the entire 2025 UTME should be cancelled and rescheduled to maybe July, August, so that JAMB can have enough time to address whatever issues are outstanding and deal with them. I mean...
So in other words, you're saying that when these results come out tomorrow, it's going to be likely, more of the same.
Yeah, based on the complaints.
Based on the complaints.
I have my fears. And honestly, you see, JAMB is a national treasure. JAMB is a national treasure. Just like you had WAEC when we were growing up, there were these iconic names, JAMB, WAEC, and all of that we're used to. And we looked forward to that time when we'll take JAMB, and get a tertiary education. It's an aspiration. So, well, I know these things happen, but you see, there must be deliberate, sustained effort to make sure that the margin of error in applying these technological solutions
not more than 2%,
maybe even minus.
Or maybe minus. Okay, but
-1%.
Do you share such fears as well? Or are you convinced that, okay, they would have, corrected their errors?
Where I stand is this. If something has been done for 5 years under the present leadership, and we have not had a situation like this,
yes,
then we should be able to say, let's give this man and the system the benefit of the doubt. That's where I stand. Because we've had JAMB with us for so long.
Yes.
And this, let's even assume it's one man who is saying, I take responsibility. If the man has done it 4 times and nothing has happened, and a 5th time something goes wrong, then he still deserves some credit while we look at what the issues are. And very clearly, what JAMB has tried to do over time, and which a lot of people have not taken into consideration. You see, in some schools in the past, in some centers, because they give them the same questions, you have lecturers who are just walking. Those are the ones that they call
Wonder Center.
Miracle centers. Okay, everybody is doing English. 1, B, 2, C. And they do that. And it's the same questions throughout. Whether they have 5 sets or whatever, it's the same. What went wrong with this one from what I can deduce? They now started this idea of when one set finishes, you change the questions for the next set. It is even possible that the man sitting next to you, you are both doing English, is answering different questions from yours.
Good idea.
That idea has worked in the last 2, 3, 4 years.
And it has cut down malpractice.
It has cut it down because you can't even do it.
Okay.
If I start calling my own answers for you, then you are going to fail big time because we are not even sure we are answering the same questions. And that for me is a good and welcome idea. Okay. So the issue now is something has gone wrong. What it meant was in the process of swapping questions, because these things are marked almost immediately by a system. It's not human beings that mark it. I've done an exam before when I was in the Polytechnic. It was like a graph, circles. So you needed to identify it. In the process of drawing my lines to it, I wrote the wrong things, but my explanation, which is the main thing, because was correct.
Yes. That's a
correct.
Yes.
And the lecturer said,
cognitive.
Yes. You should have taken your time to take but I suspect that you were teaching the person beside you. And that was what happened. Wow. I wasn't paying. I was telling the person, this is this. So I was distracted.
Wow.
And that's the real essence of an examination.
Okay, now the JAMB spokesperson, Fabian Benjamin, called it sabotage. Now, what really should be done, to avoid a repeat of such sabotage?
Yeah, there has been a general demand, section society has said that the JAMB registrar, Professor Ishak Olede, should resign. Yeah. Another section of society says no. Is this, is that, he has impeccable integrity and all of that. He has been here, he has been here, he has been here. Beautiful. So, now this is, like a jury trial, for Professor Olede. So I think he should now look at that. He should even thank God for such an experience. And then now go back, sit down with his top management and look into what really went wrong. Because for me, the short period within which they took another one was not necessary. Should have given the candidates some time, knowing that WASC was still, ongoing, it's still going on. So, take your time, go through your system. Because this same thing, somebody said it happened in India, it happened in the United States, and all of that. Yes, but you see, one of the things we should try to avoid doing is making our society remain a society of excuses. Like one of my bosses used to say, we cannot continue to lament our failures, lament our challenges. The point is, it's not about the efforts you are making, but the results from those efforts. So he should take this as an opportunity, to say, okay, I'm going to do much better. At least for the remaining period of my tenure, I will make sure that these things are sorted out. So that the confidence, for those who have confidence in you, those who have written letters, issued statements, we know the man and all of that, he's this, he's that, so that that confidence, will remain rock solid. Then for those who say he should resign and all of that, now, instead of the typical Nigerian way, they hate me, they this and that. No, use that as an opportunity for you to change that impression in their minds, And I believe that there should also be a review of this exam so that if it comes to a point where maybe, because look at it, what will the cutoff points be this year? I was on another program, I was asking. Last year, you saw the cutoff point, 140, 160. Now, are you going to bring down cutoff point to 100? When I said on the program, some people say, no. I said, so they have to have, Professor Olede and his top management should think about what needs to be done so that we won't have that kind of, you understand what I'm talking about? That's embarrassing.
Absolutely.
But Emeka, two things you mentioned.
Just in 30 seconds because we need to go on a break.
Two things you mentioned. If we need to do so, we can, and then we'll come back to this. But two things you mentioned. Number one, there is a meeting of all examination bodies in Nigeria.
Okay.
That meeting outlines how examinations should be conducted. It's already there.
The process.
The moment you miss one schedule, you are trying to eat into the others.
Of course.
So that's why, quickly, JAMB met with WAEC,
the VCs
and said, okay, let's do this quickly. And at a time, these students are still very hot. Number two is the fact that there is no way you are going to run away from it, that you won't have schools that will take 100 as cutoff points. Okay. There are schools like that.
All right, gentlemen. All right, gentlemen. We need to go on this quick break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere. Still Journalist Hangout.